The transport shuttle hummed quietly as it approached the massive space station floating in the void between stars. Marine Sergeant Lisa Carter pressed her face against the small window and watched the alien structure grow larger with each passing moment. 3 months had passed since humanity made first contact with the Galactic Alliance, and she still could not believe she was here. The station looked nothing like the metal boxes humans built in space. This structure seemed to flow like water frozen in time, with curves and spirals that hurt to look at for too long. Lights pulsed along its surface in patterns that reminded Lisa of a heartbeat. She had seen pictures, but being this close made her stomach twist with nervousness. Commander Jake Murphy floated beside her in the zero-gravity section of the shuttle. His weathered face showed the same amazement she felt. Jake had been chosen as the human liaison officer for this program, and Lisa trusted him completely. They had served together on Mars before the aliens arrived and changed everything. "You?" Nervous Carter, Jake asked as he checked his tablet for the 100th time. "A little, sir," Lisa replied honestly. "Still not sure why they picked me for this," Jake smiled and shook his head. "Because you are one of the best Marines we have. The aliens requested volunteers for compatibility testing, and your name was at the top of every list." Lisa nodded but still felt unsure. The message from the Galactic Alliance had been simple. They wanted to test how human soldiers might work with their advanced defense systems. The pay was good, and the chance to help humanity earn its place among the stars seemed worth any risk. The shuttle docked with a soft thud that barely registered through the hull. Lisa gathered her small bag of personal items and followed Jake through the airlock. The moment she stepped onto the alien station, her world changed completely. The air smelled different. Not bad, but strange, like flowers mixed with metal and something else she could not identify. The corridor stretched ahead of them with walls that seemed to shift color as they walked. Soft music played from somewhere, but Lisa could not see any speakers. A figure approached them from the far end of the hallway. Lisa tried not to stare but failed completely. The alien looked like a giant praying mantis that had learned to walk upright. Its green skin had a metallic shine, and its large compound eyes reflected their faces back at them hundreds of times. "Welcome to Research Station Kepler 7, the alien said in perfect English. Its voice came from a small device attached to its throat. "I am Dr. Vexstar of the Zephyrian Science Collective. You must be Sergeant Carter." Lisa straightened her shoulders and tried to look professional. "Yes, sir. Yes, doctor. Thank you for having me." Dr. Vexstar made a sound that might have been laughter. "There is no need for formality here. We are all colleagues working toward the same goal." The alien turned to Jake. "Commander Murphy, I presume. Your reputation precedes you." Jake shook the alien's offered hand carefully. Lisa noticed that Dr. Vexstar had 4 fingers instead of 5, and they ended in small claws. "Thank you, Doctor. We are honored to be part of this program." "Excellent. Please follow me and I will show you to your quarters first. Then we can begin the orientation process." They walked through corridors that seemed to go on forever. Lisa saw other aliens moving about their business. Some looked almost human, while others defied description. A creature that resembled a walking jellyfish nodded politely as they passed. Another alien looked like it was made entirely of blue crystal and chimed softly when it moved. "Your species fascinates us," Dr. Vexstar said as they walked. "Earth is classified as what we call a deathworld. Very few intelligent species develop on planets with such extreme conditions." Lisa frowned. "Extreme conditions, sir?" "Indeed. Your gravity is nearly twice galactic standard. Your weather patterns are chaotic. Your planet hosts predators that would terrify most civilized species. Yet humans not only survived, but thrived in such an environment." Jake whistled softly. "We never thought of Earth as particularly dangerous. It's just home." "That attitude itself is remarkable," Dr. Vexstar replied. "Most species develop technology to overcome their environment. Humans seem to have adapted to become part of it." They stopped at a door that opened silently at their approach. The room beyond looked almost normal except for the furniture that seemed to grow from the floor. Lisa set her bag down and looked around. A large window showed the stars outside, and she could see Earth in the distance as a small blue dot. Rest. For now, Dr. Vextar said. Tomorrow we begin the testing process. I must warn you that what we plan to do has never been attempted with a human before. What exactly are we testing? Lisa asked. The alien's compound eyes seemed to focus on her more intently. We want to see how your nervous system interfaces with our neural combat interface. This device enhances reaction time and threat assessment for soldiers across the galaxy. Every species we have tested shows measurable improvement when connected to the system. How much improvement? Jake asked. The average enhancement reduces reaction time by 40%. Our current record holder is a Vraxian warrior who achieved a response time of 0.27 seconds after interface activation. Lisa did some quick math in her head. What's the standard reaction time without the interface? For most species, approximately 0.5 seconds. Humans are an unknown factor since we have never tested your kind before. Dr. Vextar paused at the door. I should mention that several of my colleagues are quite excited about this test. They believe humans may show unusual results due to your Deathworld origins. Unusual how? Jake pressed. We are not certain. Earth's extreme environment may have produced adaptations we do not yet understand. Tomorrow we will find out together. After the alien left, Lisa sat on the strange furniture and stared out at the stars. Jake paced the small room with his hands behind his back. Neither of them spoke for several minutes. You having second thoughts? Jake finally asked. Lisa shook her head. No, sir. Just wondering what we might be getting into. The alien seemed friendly. Enough, and this could help humanity find its place out here. I know. It's just that Dr. Vextar seemed almost too interested in testing us. Like they're expecting something specific? Jake stopped pacing and looked at her seriously. You think this is more than just compatibility testing? Maybe, but I signed up for this and I plan to see it through. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? Outside their window, the alien station continued its slow rotation through space. Neither of them knew that tomorrow would change everything the galaxy thought it knew about humans. The test that Dr. Vextar had planned would reveal something about their species that even they did not understand. For now, though, Lisa Carter was just a Marine far from home preparing for another mission. She had no idea that she was about to become the most famous human in galactic history. Lisa woke to gentle chimes coming from somewhere in the walls. The alien station had no day or night cycle, but the sound system apparently helped visitors maintain normal sleep patterns. She stretched and felt surprisingly good despite sleeping. On furniture that looked like it grew from the floor, Jake was already awake and dressed when she emerged from the bathroom. The facilities worked much like human systems, though the mirror showed her reflection in strange colors that shifted as she moved. Sleep well? Jake asked as he studied a tablet displaying the day's schedule. Better than expected, Lisa replied, while putting on her uniform. You? Like a baby. These aliens know how to build comfortable quarters. A soft knock came from the door, which slid open to reveal Dr. Vextar along with two other aliens Lisa had not met before. The first looked like a dolphin that had learned to walk on its tail fins. Its skin was blue-gray and covered in what looked like scales. The second alien appeared to be made entirely of living crystal that sparkled in the corridor lighting. Good morning, Dr. Vextar said through his translation device. I hope you rested well. I would like you to meet my colleagues who will be assisting with today's procedures. The dolphin-like alien stepped forward with movements that seemed to flow like water. I am Dr. Kellen of the Cetacean Research Institute. My specialty is neural interface technology and biological adaptation studies. The crystal being chimed softly when it moved. Technician Wraith. I maintain and calibrate all testing equipment on this station. Lisa shook hands with both aliens, though she worried about crushing Wraith's crystal fingers. The technician felt surprisingly warm and solid despite looking fragile. Shall we proceed to the testing facility? Dr. Vextar asked. I am eager to begin our research. They walked through different corridors than the day before. Lisa noticed that the walls here had a more metallic appearance and the soft music was replaced by a low humming sound that seemed to come from the structure itself. Signs in various alien languages marked doorways, though she could not read any of them. The testing chamber is specially designed for combat simulations, Dr. Kellen explained as they walked. We can create any environment or scenario within its walls using advanced holographic projection. How realistic are these simulations? Jake asked. Completely realistic to all senses, Wraith chimed. The system can replicate heat, cold, wind, even specific scents and sounds. Subjects often forget they are in a simulation. They stopped at a heavy door marked with symbols that look like warnings. Dr. Vextar placed his hand on a scanner and the door slid open with a soft hiss. Beyond lay a circular room about 30 feet across with a high domed ceiling. The walls appeared to be made of the same material as Wraith's crystal body. This is our neural combat interface testing chamber, Dr. Vextar announced proudly. The most advanced training facility in known space. In the center of the room sat what looked like a dentist's chair covered in thin wires and small devices. Above it hung a helmet connected to dozens of cables that disappeared into the ceiling. The entire setup looked both impressive and slightly scary. The subject sits in the interface chair, Dr. Kellen explained. The neural helmet reads brain patterns and feeds combat data directly to the nervous system. Reaction time improves dramatically once the system is properly calibrated. Lisa walked around the chair examining it from all angles. How does it work exactly? The helmet monitors your brain activity and identifies the pathways your mind uses to process threats, Wraith said. Then it feeds information along those same pathways but much faster than normal sensory input. We have tested over 300 species with this system, Dr. Vextar added. Every single one showed significant improvement in combat reflexes and threat assessment. Jake looked skeptical. What are the risks? Minimal, Dr. Kellen assured him. The interface only reads and enhances existing neural patterns. It does not alter brain structure or function permanently. Lisa nodded slowly. What kind of tests will I be doing? Simple combat scenarios at first, Dr. Vextar replied. Dodging projectiles, identifying threats, basic defensive maneuvers. We will gradually increase complexity as you become comfortable with the system. However, Dr. Kellen interjected, we would like to establish your baseline performance first. This means running initial tests without the neural interface to see your natural abilities. That makes sense, Lisa said. When do we start Wraith? Move to a control panel that emerged from the floor at their approach. Whenever you are ready. The system requires a few minutes to calibrate for human physiology since we have never tested your species before. Lisa looked at Jake, who nodded encouragingly. I'm ready. Excellent, Dr. Vextar rubbed his hands together in what might have been excitement. Please take a seat in the interface chair. We will begin with basic diagnostics. The chair adjusted itself to fit Lisa's body as soon as she sat down. Thin wires attached themselves to her arms and temples with gentle suction. She felt a slight tingling sensation but nothing painful. Remarkable, Dr. Kellen said while studying readouts on his screen. Your neural activity patterns are unlike anything we have recorded before. Different how? Jake asked with concern in his voice. Much more complex. Most species show distinct separation between sensory input and motor response systems. Human brains seem to process these functions simultaneously through multiple pathways. Wraith's crystal body flashed brighter colors as the technician worked. Electromagnetic activity levels are also unusually high. Are you certain the equipment is functioning properly? Run full diagnostics, Dr. Vextar ordered. I want to be absolutely sure we have accurate readings. Lisa sat quietly while machines hummed and clicked around her. The screens showed waves and numbers that meant nothing to her, but seemed to fascinate the alien scientists. Dr. Kellen kept making notes, while Dr. Vextar paced the room with growing excitement. All systems checked normal, Wraith announced after several minutes. The readings are accurate. Human neural architecture is simply more complex than we anticipated. This is fascinating, Dr. Vexstar said. Your brain processes sensory information through pathways we did not even know existed in organic minds. Is that good or bad? Lisa asked. Potentially very good, Dr. Kellen replied. Complex neural architecture often correlates with enhanced reflexes and threat recognition abilities. Jake stepped closer to the chair. Are you feeling okay, Carter? Fine, sir. Just a little tingly from the sensors. Dr. Vexstar checked his tablet, then looked at his colleagues. Shall we begin the baseline? Testing. I am most curious to see how a Deathworlder performs without technological enhancement. Agreed, Dr. Kellen said. Sergeant Carter, we are going to start the simulation now. Simply react naturally to whatever you see. Do not overthink your responses. The room around Lisa began to change. The crystal walls faded away and were replaced by what looked like a rocky desert under an alien sun. Winds seemed to blow across her face, carrying the scent of dust and strange plants. Amazing, she whispered. The test begins now, Raid H announced. Lisa settled back in the chair and prepared herself for whatever was coming. She had no idea that what happened next would shock the entire galactic scientific community. The desert simulation felt completely real around Lisa. Hot sand crunched under her boots and the alien sun beat down on her shoulders. She could even smell the dry air mixed with something that reminded her of sagebrush. For a moment she forgot. She was inside a space station. Beginning basic threat assessment protocol, Wraith announced from somewhere outside the simulation. Please respond naturally to any dangers you perceive. Lisa nodded and scanned the horizon. Nothing moved in the simulated landscape except for heat waves rising from distant rocks. She settled into a ready stance that felt as natural as breathing. In the observation room above the testing chamber, the three alien scientists watched their monitors with growing interest. Dr. Vexstar pointed at one of the screens showing Lisa's brain activity. Look at those neural patterns, he said with excitement. Her threat detection systems are already active even though no dangers have been introduced yet. Dr. Kellen studied another display showing electromagnetic readings from Lisa's nervous system. Fascinating. Most subjects remain in a passive state until the first threat appears. She seems to be scanning the environment at a level we have never recorded before. Should we be concerned? Jake asked from his position beside the alien scientists. Her vitals look normal, but those brain scans are unlike anything I have seen. Not concerned, Dr. Vexstar replied. Intrigued. Your species may have developed survival instincts beyond our current understanding. Back in the simulation, Lisa continued to survey her surroundings. Something felt wrong, though she could not identify what it was. Her skin tingled with the same sensation she got before enemy attacks during combat missions on Mars. Every muscle in her body tensed slightly in preparation for action. Initiating first threat sequence, Raid H announced. The computer system began generating the first simulated attack. A projectile would appear from behind a rock formation and fly toward Lisa's position. The threat had not yet materialized when something impossible happened. Lisa dove to her left a full second before anything appeared in the simulation. What? Dr. Kellen shouted as he stared at his screens in disbelief. How did she know to move, run? Diagnostics immediately, Dr. Vexstar ordered while his compound eyes tracked Lisa's continued movements in the chamber below. Lisa rolled across the sand and came up in a crouch facing the direction where the projectile would eventually appear. Her body moved with fluid precision as if she was dodging an attack that only she could see. All systems functioning normally, Wraith reported while crystal fingers danced across control surfaces. The threat generation sequence is proceeding as programmed. Then how is she reacting to something that has not happened yet? Dr. Kellen demanded. The simulated projectile appeared and flew through the exact space where Lisa had been standing moments before. She tracked its path with her eyes and shifted position again before the next projectile in the sequence even began to form. Jake leaned forward against the observation window. Carter, what are you doing down there? Lisa could not hear him, but continued moving through the simulation with an almost dance-like grace. She seemed to anticipate every threat before it appeared. Dodge left, duck low, step right. all perfectly timed to avoid dangers that existed only as probability calculations in the computer system. "This is impossible," Dr. Vexstar muttered while reviewing data streams. "She is reacting to electromagnetic fluctuations that occur nanoseconds before threat generation. No organic nervous system should be capable of such sensitivity. Unless," Dr. Kellen said slowly, "her nervous system evolved to detect threats at the quantum level." The test continued with increasingly complex scenarios. Multiple projectiles from different angles, moving threats that change direction. Environmental hazards like falling rocks and hidden pits. Lisa navigated every challenge with the same impossible prescience. "Pause the simulation," Dr. Vexstar ordered. The desert environment froze around Lisa. She straightened up and looked around in confusion as the heat and wind suddenly stopped. "Is everything okay?" she called out to the observation room. "Yes, Sergeant Carter," Dr. Vexstar replied through the intercom system. "We are experiencing some technical difficulties. Please remain in position while we run diagnostics." Lisa nodded and stood relaxed in the middle of the frozen simulation. She had no idea that the alien scientists above were frantically reviewing data that challenged everything they thought they knew about biological reflexes. "Look at these reaction times," Dr. Kellen said while pointing at his display. "She is responding an average of 0.15 seconds before threat manifestation. That is faster than our computers can generate the threats." "How is that possible?" Jake asked, though he was beginning to suspect the answer might be uniquely human. "Earth is a death world," Dr. Vexstar said quietly. "Perhaps we have underestimated what that truly means." Rate H pulled up comparative data from previous test subjects. The current galactic record for enhanced reaction time is 0.27 seconds with full neural interface assistance. She is beating that record without any technological aid whatsoever. "And we have not even activated the neural interface yet," Dr. Kellen added with something like awe in his voice. A new figure entered the observation room. The alien stood nearly 8 feet tall with thick gray skin and muscles that looked like they could bend steel. Scarred armor covered most of its body, and its eyes glowed with a predatory intelligence that made Jake step back instinctively. "I am Security Chief Thunder," the newcomer announced in a voice like grinding stone. "I came to observe this testing after receiving reports of unusual activity." Dr. Vexstar quickly brought the security chief up to speed on what they had witnessed. Thunder studied the data screens with the eye of someone who had survived countless battles. "My people evolved on a world with 3 times your gravity," Thunder said after reviewing the information. "We are considered among the finest warriors in known space. Yet I have never seen reflexes like this." "Should we continue the test?" Dr. Kellen asked. "Absolutely," Thunder replied, "but increase the difficulty. I want to see the limits of these Deathworlder adaptations." Dr. Vexstar nodded and activated the intercom. "Sergeant Carter, we are resuming the test. This next sequence will be more challenging." "Understood," Lisa replied. "I am ready." The simulation restarted with threats coming from all directions simultaneously. Lisa moved through the chaos like she was following a choreographed dance routine. Every step and dodge was perfectly timed to avoid dangers that seemed to exist only in her mind until they suddenly became real. "Incredible," Thunder breathed as he watched her performance. "She fights like she can see the future." "Perhaps she can," Dr. Vexstar said quietly. "In a sense." The test ran for another 30 minutes with Lisa maintaining the same impossible level of performance throughout. When it finally ended, she was breathing hard but otherwise seemed unaffected by the ordeal. "How did I do?" she asked as the simulation faded back to the crystal chamber. The alien scientists looked at each other in stunned silence. How could they explain that she had just redefined their understanding of what was biologically possible? "Very well, Sergeant Carter," Dr. Vexstar finally managed to say. "Very well indeed." The observation room buzzed with activity as alien scientists worked frantically at their stations. Data streams flowed across dozens of screens while Dr. Vexstar paced back and forth muttering to himself in his native language. Lisa remained in the testing chair below, unaware of the chaos her performance had created. "Run the electromagnetic analysis again," Dr. Kellen ordered while studying readings that seemed to defy physics. "These numbers cannot be correct." Wraith's crystal body pulsed with rapid color changes as the technician processed the data. "I have run diagnostics 17 times. All equipment is functioning within normal parameters. The readings are accurate." Security Chief Thunder stood motionless near the window, watching Lisa with the intensity of a predator studying potential prey. His scarred hands gripped the railing as he tried to understand what he had witnessed. "In my 300 years of combat experience," Thunder said slowly, "I have never seen anything like this. She moves as if the universe itself whispers warnings in her ear." Jake felt a mix of pride and concern as he watched the alien struggle to comprehend Lisa's abilities. "Should we be worried about her? All this testing cannot be normal?" "Worried." Dr. Vexstar stopped pacing and stared at Jake with his compound eyes. "Commander Murphy, your species may have just revolutionized our understanding of biological evolution." The door to the observation room hissed open and another alien entered. This newcomer moved with the fluid grace of someone accustomed to command. Ancient scars covered reptilian features and ceremonial armor marked with battle honors spoke of countless victories. The other aliens immediately showed deference to the new arrival. "Admiral Corvex," Dr. Vexstar said with obvious surprise. "I was not expecting you until next week." "Plans change when interesting reports reach my desk," Admiral Corvex replied in a voice that carried absolute authority. "I came to see this human phenomenon for myself." The Admiral was a Draconian, member of the galaxy's most militaristic species. Their empire had conquered dozens of worlds through superior tactics and warrior culture. For Admiral Corvex to personally investigate meant Lisa's test results had reached the highest levels of galactic leadership. "What exactly have you discovered?" Admiral Corvex asked while studying the data displays. Dr. Kellen pulled up the electromagnetic readings from Lisa's nervous system. Her brain processes environmental information at levels we did not know were possible. She detects micro-fluctuations in quantum fields that occur before our computers even generate threat scenarios. "Impossible," Admiral Corvex said flatly. "That was our initial response as well," Dr. Vexstar replied. "However, the data is undeniable. She is reacting to probability calculations as they form in our systems." Thunger stepped forward to address the Admiral. "Sir, I have personally observed her performance. She anticipates attacks with accuracy that appears supernatural." Admiral Corvex studied the security chief with reptilian eyes that missed nothing. Thunder was legendary among galactic military forces. His endorsement carried enormous weight. "Show me," Admiral Corvex commanded. Dr. Vexstar activated the intercom to the testing chamber. "Sergeant Carter, we would like to run one more diagnostic." "Sequence, are you prepared to continue?" "Yes, sir," Lisa replied from below. "Should I expect anything different this time?" "We are going to activate the neural interface," Dr. Kellen announced. "This will provide the enhanced reflexes I described yesterday." Lisa nodded as the neural helmet descended from the ceiling. Thin cables attached themselves to various points on her head while she remained perfectly still. Status lights on the helmet changed from red to yellow as the system initialized. "Neural interface coming online," Wraith reported. "Calibrating for human brain patterns." The aliens watched their screens with intense focus as the system attempted to enhance Lisa's already impossible reflexes. What they saw defied every theory about biological augmentation. "Her reaction time is slowing down," Dr. Kellen said in disbelief. "How is that possible?" Admiral Corvex demanded. "The neural interface cannot process information fast enough to keep up with her natural abilities," Dr. Vexstar explained while staring at the data in amazement. "The artificial system is actually hindering her performance." Lisa felt the difference immediately. The subtle awareness that had guided her through the previous tests became muffled and delayed. Her instincts fought against the artificial input trying to tell her things she already knew. "Something feels wrong," she announced. "The system is interfering with my natural reflexes." "Impossible," Admiral Corvex repeated, though his voice now carried uncertainty rather than Conviction. Thonder leaned forward against the observation window. Sir, request permission to enter the testing chamber. I want to see this for myself. Admiral Corvex considered the request, then nodded. Granted, but maintained safe distance protocols. Security Chief Thonder left the observation room and appeared in the testing chamber moments later. His massive frame made Lisa look small by comparison, but she showed no fear at his approach. Sergeant Carter, Thonder said while studying her with predatory interest, I am going to move around you in various attack patterns. Do not look at me directly, but tell me what you sense. Lisa nodded and closed her eyes. Thonder began circling her position with movements so quiet they barely registered on the chamber's audio sensors. His species had evolved stealth hunting, techniques that could fool most technological detection systems. You are moving to my left, Lisa said without opening her eyes. Now behind me, shifting right, preparing to change direction. Thonder stopped moving entirely and simply stood motionless behind her. After several seconds, he raised his arm as if to strike, though he had no intention of actually attacking. You are raising your right arm, Lisa announced. Attack vector suggests a downward strike toward my left shoulder. The massive alien lowered his arm and stepped back in genuine amazement. How did you know that? I felt the change in air pressure. And electromagnetic fields, Lisa replied as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Your body generates different patterns when you shift from movement to attack posture. In the observation room above, the assembled aliens stared at their instruments in stunned silence. The implications of what they were witnessing began to sink in. Earth is not just a death world, Dr. Vexstar said quietly. It is a death world that created apex predators so refined they can sense threats at the quantum level. Admiral Corvex turned to Jake with something approaching respect in his ancient eyes. Commander Murphy, how many humans possess these abilities? Jake thought about his years serving alongside Marines like Lisa. If you mean enhanced reflexes and situational awareness, probably most of our military personnel. We just call it good instincts. Good instincts, Dr. Kellen repeated in a hollow voice. You call quantum-level environmental awareness good instincts. We never had a name for it, Jake admitted. Soldiers who survive long enough develop a feel for danger. Lisa is just better at it than most. The alien scientists looked at each other with expressions that mixed wonder and concern. They had not just discovered a new species with unusual abilities. They had encountered beings whose natural evolution had surpassed their most advanced technology. Admiral Corvex studied the data one more time, then made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. Continue the testing. I want to know the full extent of human capabilities before we proceed with integration protocols. Below in the testing chamber, Lisa waited patiently for the next phase of evaluation. She had no idea that her simple demonstration of natural human reflexes had just terrified some of the galaxy's most powerful military leaders. Admiral Corvex stood motionless as he processed the implications of what he had witnessed. His reptilian features showed no emotion, but Jake could sense the tension radiating from the ancient warrior. 3 centuries of military experience had not prepared the Admiral for humans. Dr. Vexstar, Admiral Corvex said in a voice that commanded immediate attention, I want you to design new tests. Push the limits of what this human can do. What did you have in mind, sir? Dr. Vexstar asked while his compound eyes reflected dozens of images of the Admiral, real threats. Controlled but genuine danger. I need to see how she performs when actual consequences exist. Dr. Kellen looked concerned at this suggestion. Admiral, that would violate numerous safety protocols. We cannot risk injury to a test subject. The galaxy's safety may depend on understanding human capabilities, Admiral Corvex replied coldly. Implement appropriate safeguards, but I want authentic combat scenarios. Jake stepped forward with worry evident in his voice. Sir, with respect, Lisa volunteered for compatibility testing, not live fire exercises. Admiral Corvex turned his full attention to Jake. Commander Murphy, based on what we have observed, Your species may represent either the greatest asset or the greatest threat the galaxy has ever encountered. We need to know which. The weight of those words settled over everyone in the observation room. Lisa continued waiting in the testing chamber below, unaware that her simple demonstration had triggered a galactic security evaluation. Very well, Dr. Vextar said after a long pause. Wraith, begin configuring the chamber for live combat scenarios. Activate all safety protocols and prepare medical emergency systems. Wraith's crystal body pulsed with rapid color changes as the technician worked. Chamber reconfiguration will require approximately 30 minutes. Should I contact medical personnel? Yes, and request additional security forces as backup, Admiral Korvex ordered. If something goes wrong, I want immediate response capability. Thonder returned to the observation room while the technicians prepared the new test environment. His massive frame moved with surprising quiet despite weighing nearly 400 pounds. Admiral, Thonder reported, the human shows no signs of fatigue or stress despite prolonged testing. Her vitals remain completely stable. Remarkable, Dr. Kellen noted while reviewing Lisa's biological readings. Most species show significant neural strain after extended interface exposure. She appears unaffected. Admiral Korvex studied the data displays with growing concern. Dr. Vextar, what is the longest recorded testing session for your equipment? Approximately 4 hours for a Vraxian subject, Dr. Vextar replied. Beyond that point, neural fatigue becomes dangerous. How long has Sergeant Carter been connected, Doctor? Kellen checked his chronometer. Nearly 6 hours, sir. With no measurable degradation in performance. The implications of this endurance became clear to everyone present. Most galactic species required regular rest periods to maintain peak combat effectiveness. Humans apparently did not share this limitation. Admiral, Jake said carefully, I should mention that Lisa is not considered exceptional by human military standards. She is a good Marine, but we have soldiers with much more combat experience. Admiral Korvex turned to stare at Jake with reptilian eyes that had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. Are you suggesting that more experienced humans would perform even better? Possibly, sir. Lisa has seen action, but some of our veterans have decades of combat experience in multiple theaters. The assembled aliens exchanged glances that mixed fascination with genuine concern. If Lisa represented average human military capability, what could their elite soldiers accomplish? Chamber reconfiguration complete, Wraith announced. All safety systems are active and emergency response teams are standing by. Dr. Vextar activated the intercom to address Lisa. Sergeant Carter, we are implementing a new test protocol. This will involve actual combat drones under controlled conditions. Lisa straightened in her chair with interest rather than concern. Real opponents, sir? Yes, though heavily regulated for safety. Are you prepared to continue? Absolutely, Lisa replied without hesitation. This should be more interesting than simulations. Admiral Korvex noted her eager response with growing unease. Most species approached real combat with appropriate caution. Humans seemed to welcome it. The testing chamber began transforming around Lisa. Walls shifted to create a complex environment filled with obstacles and hiding places. Combat drones descended from concealed panels in the ceiling while defensive. Barriers rose from the floor. These drones are equipped with non-lethal stunning weapons, Dr. Kellen explained to the observers. They will attack with genuine intent but cannot cause permanent harm. How many drones are you deploying? Jake asked. We typically start with 2 for experienced galactic warriors, Wraith replied. For this test, we are beginning with 5. Thonder growled low in his throat. 5 combat drones would challenge a full squad of my security forces. This seems excessive. Based on her previous performance, I believe it may not be enough, Admiral Korvex said grimly. The test began without warning. 5 sleek combat drones emerged from hiding positions and immediately began coordinated attacks on Lisa's position. Their movements were faster than most organic reflexes could track. Lisa moved. Her body flowed through the complex ENVI or on ENT like water finding the easiest path downhill. She seemed to dance between drone attacks while simultaneously positioning herself for counterstrikes. Her hands found improvised weapons among the environmental obstacles with unconscious ease. Impossible, Thunder breathed as he watched her. Performance. She is fighting 5 opponents simultaneously and maintaining offensive capability. Look at her breathing, Dr. Kellen pointed out. Still completely regular, she is not even breathing hard. Lisa disabled the first drone with a precisely thrown piece of debris that struck its main sensor array. The second fell to an improvised club fashioned from a broken barrier section. Her movements remained fluid and controlled throughout the engagement. She fights like she has done this 1,000 times before, Admiral Corvex observed. Maybe she has, Jake replied quietly. Human history is largely a record of warfare. We have been fighting each other and our environment for millennia. The remaining 3 drones adapted their tactics and began attacking from multiple angles. Simultaneously. Lisa responded by using the environment itself as a weapon, triggering environmental hazards that eliminated 2 more opponents. The drones are learning, Wraith noted. Their AI is adapting to her patterns. So, is she? Thunder replied with something approaching awe in his voice. Lisa had indeed adapted to the drone's new tactics. She began moving in ways that appeared random but were actually calculated to confuse their targeting systems. The final drone fell when she used its own momentum against it, redirecting its attack into a wall. Total engagement time was 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Status report, Admiral Corvex demanded. All drones disabled, Wraith confirmed. Sergeant Carter shows no signs of injury or fatigue. In the testing chamber below, Lisa stood among the disabled drones, looking slightly disappointed. Is that all? She called out. I was just getting warmed up. The observation room fell silent as the implications of her casual attitude became clear. She had just defeated 5 combat drones that would challenge experienced galactic warriors, and she wanted more. Admiral, Dr. Vextar said quietly, I believe we need to contact the High Council immediately. The galaxy needs to know what we have discovered. Admiral Corvex nodded slowly while continuing to watch Lisa through the observation window. Yes, and we need to know if there are more humans like her. Jake thought about the thousands of Marines stationed across human space and felt a mixture of pride and concern. Admiral, there are millions more like her. The alien faces in the observation room reflected a new understanding. Humanity had not just joined the galactic community. They had fundamentally altered the balance of power in ways no one had anticipated.